Tell Avery that I didn't get the email from Coach Butler.
I don't think she saw me.
Oh, who was that looked up there?
It was, I actually have Coach Whiteman's number, so I'm just going to text her.
Oh, well, it's... Here, let me see her number.
Okay, it's 22.
Oh, no, don't see it.
Oh. Sorry.
That's okay.
Hang tight, folks. We're trying to figure out a couple of the logistics of the game, how long halves are, etc.
Yeah, it's okay to be quiet right now. It's okay. Uh-huh. You see where she went? So what we'll do is, here, take a look here. Okay, do you remember the times though? I mean, I can just... Okay. 10, then 30, right? Oh, 5. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. There's just extra things up there. Okay, 35:30. Okay. Yeah, we know that when we get that, we'll stop the clock. Yeah, and then he'll roll his arms and we'll start the clock. And blow the whistle. Okay. Yeah, just send it to me when you get it. Thanks. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Bye-bye. For some reason, see how this is a little bit not straight? It just maybe just a little bit off. See now that's pretty good. All right, so running it by yourself. Be over here. You can do this at the same time here. Start, stop. You see him give the sign. Stop the clock. Yep. He'll blow his whistle and stop. But you just gotta watch it. And then it's 2 minutes. And just start, stop. And then when that buzzes, we'll reset the clock, okay? So let's go ahead and hit stop here, okay? Go ahead and hit set main clock, okay? 30. Okay, enter. Okay, you're good to go. All right, and then it's 35, and then 30.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
When you're done, what I need you to do is just unplug this and this, close that, and then lay it like right there. Okay? You could also just lay it right on that. And if you want to take your camera off. You remember how to put anything away? It's fine. You can just leave it. I'll come in and do it. Okay? All right, and just close that one down. Sure. And put the blinds down? Unless you want it for everything. Right. I'll be here for the start. If you want to like, when you zoom in, you don't have to zoom in a lot, but like, you can probably get this close. And you're not going to miss much. Does that make sense? So like, that's probably good. You're going to be able to see everything that's going on. Just keep the ball in the middle. And you're watching this, not that out there. Make sense?
So you have the last couple of minutes here before gameplay starts. And it's going to be two 30-minute halves with a 5-minute halftime. So it will probably be around a runtime of like an hour, 10 minutes. Which, like,
It all depends on like how long. If there's an injury, he'll stop the clock.
Yeah.
I think, do they stop the clock after a goal is scored?
I don't think
Or
so.
on a corner penalty, or on a penalty, or on a stroke? So just watch him, because the rules, that we don't know what they've discussed down there at the in the conference. So we'll look at that. And looks like we're in a good place. And you say you know some of the players on the other team, or at least one of the girls on the other team?
Yeah, I recognize one of them.
Okay, excellent. I'll stay here until you get started and when you're done. You have the app on your phone?
Foxcaster? I actually do.
Okay, so when you're done, you've got my number, right? What's this called? When you're done, just hit that. Only when you're done. Okay, so you're good to go right now. And just go into that, and you can end it. And then I need my number here.
So we have our starting players heading out into the field. The game's about to start. And so it is 11v11, which includes the goalkeeper. And you can see the goalkeepers are the ones in either orange for Wilson or white with orange padding for O'Connell. And O'Connell will start with the ball for the first half. And the officials are going to be the two men in turquoise. So the game's started. So we have a back pass for O'Connell.
I was a little too high. No. He'll blow it long.
So McConnell's pass was too high. If it goes above the knee, folks, that is a foul. So it's going to be Wilson's ball from where the foul happened. So it's Wilson's ball. There's a little bit of foul. Field hockey is very quick-paced games, and there are a lot of fouls. It's not always super easy to tell what's going on.
Ooh.
But we have a couple good shots
That's
off,
gonna
and
be
that
a
is
corner.
yeah,
hit her
that's a
foot.
corner for Wilson. And corners are actually a really big part of the game because most goals are scored on corners. When you start to get to the collegiate level, like 90% of goals are scored off of corners.
Oh, really? After penalties?
Yeah, and corners are a result of what happens when there's a foul inside of the circle, which is the blue circle. And McConnell's driven up pretty far onto Wilson's side.
Ooh.
And
yeah, that was a high
O'Connell
hit.
player did swing her stick too high above the knee, and so they did call foul on that. So it's going to be a hit. It's called a coming out, and that is for Wilson. So we have, and I think that was a foot. Although I'm not quite sure, but it is McConnell's ball. I have two, and we are in, and that is senior Michaela, I believe. I'm not sure as to everyone's names, but if I do know them, I'll just shout them out. And that was Sabine Ward. Just a little bit of a tumble, but she's good, and she's back up and running. And that's, and so there's a little bit of a foul, but that's and the game just keep moving and we got a little bit of some stick work here. It's a lot of times you'll find yourself getting stuck, and it's really important to it's kind of like basketball where possession changes a lot, or like soccer wherever like possession does change a lot. So it may be kind of hard to keep up with at first, but get the hang of it. And folks, the ball is the orange little tiny thing that keeps rolling around your screen. In case you weren't sure, just so it's a brighter color, so it's easier for players and officials to see, which is also pretty convenient when it comes to broadcasting. So we have Wilson as the ball hit, and they hit it right into O'Connell's stick, but O'Connell did go right by, and that was hacking. Hacking, folks, is a foul. It went to Wilson, and now Wilson has the ball, and they're getting pretty close to the circle. Folks, hacking is a foul, and it's where you kind of like bang your sticks against each other, and it's given take turn possessions, I believe. So like in basketball, very similar to like when you have a jump ball, they'll alternate possession. So I believe that's how it works in field hockey for the most part, unless there's like severe hacking on like one side as opposed to the other. But that was a nice drive for O'Connell, but Wilson has regained possession. And I'm not sure how you can hear it, folks, but you will hear a lot of, like sticks hacking onto each other, banging on, but that was a foot. So it also can't touch your foot. So that's a very important thing in field hockey. If it touches your foot, that is going to be a turnover for the other team's ball. And we're about middle of the field, and that was hacking, I believe. And it's now Wilson's ball, so they're going to take the hit. And folks, the other thing is that in field hockey, you can self-start. So you may see them take a little bit of a dribble before they pass it, or they may just take it themselves if there's no passing options. So that's a valid option in field hockey. And folks, please forgive me if I forget to move the screen a little bit. I work by myself, so it may be a little not the most accurate thing, but I'm going to be doing my best. So there's a foul that was hacking, and as you can see, that just went into an O'Connell player's foot, which will be Wilson's ball. And so you can see that Wilson's taking that, and they've gotten it in, and they're almost into the circle. So folks, in order to shoot and have a legal goal, it has to be shot from inside the circle. Because if it's not, then it doesn't count. So no Carly Lloyd World Cup finals kicking it from halfway and into the goal. Most of the time, this goalie will see it get let in, and it is in another corner. So you can see that other players have to be past the half for O'Connell, because you're only allowed 3 defenders plus a goalie, and offense can really put as many players up as they want. And you see that was a save by the goalie there, but Wilson is working, and it is in the circle. So if they can get it in, and they can just flip it in, that will be score. And no, so they were unable to get it in. They hit it out of bounds, and so O'Connell is going to take the ball from the top of the circle, and they're going to pass it. So it's turned into, oh, sorry, no, my bad. I believe that was, actually went off on O'Connell, so Wilson had what's called coming in, and you take it from about the 25, and it has to go 5 yards before it can go in the circle, or else it's a turnover. So that's a little bit of fun fact there. Forgive me for that. But it looks like something going on. Okay, there's another, it's another corner. It looks like, Junior Sabina Gordon did, maybe get, like, hit in the head, an arm. I'm not quite sure, but she seems to be okay. She came out, and, she's getting some water on the sidelines. I hope she's okay, but, so that is going to be another corner for Wilson, so we'll see what you get, and that's good deep, it's good, good defensive plays from O'Connell, and they're taking it, and they hit it, but I believe that's going to be Wilson's ball for hacking, I believe, and hacking, if it's not clear who did it, so what I was saying earlier about, possession, it's, when it comes, but mostly it's whoever was hacking, like, the most, it'll be the other team's ball. So, I mean, there's some gray areas with that, but, you know, a different way, there's a save by O'Connell goalie, and a clear by defense, but it has come back into the circle with Wilson's possession, and Wilson and O'Connell player are battling out, which has resulted in yet another corner. So that's a total of 4 for Wilson so far, with only 10 minutes down in the first half. So that's actually pretty good for Wilson. Even if you don't score on corners, the opportunities are still good, because it keeps the ball on the other team's side of the field. And so that's going to be a clear from O'Connell, but Wilson has run and got it back into the circle. So Wilson's going to see if they can try and get a shot off now. So the ball did go out the sideline off of Wilson. So that's going to be O'Connell's hit, but Wilson's got it back, and yeah, that was hacking. So it's going to go back to O'Connell. And so we do have Wilson with a little bit of a run here, starting a little bit with the defense. They're coming on, but We just had 2 substitutes for O'Connell coming on in the offensive position, I believe. And the thing about field hockey is, you can sub whenever, except on corners. That's the one time that you're not allowed to sub. But you have to wait for the player to fully come off the field before you can go on. And you have to sub from the center, so around it'll be in between the 2 fields, and you'll or else it's kind of an extra player. So Wilson's getting closer, some passing, but no, it's getting a turnover. Wilson's defense is trying. We're gonna get a little bit more play on the other side of the field. I do have to say, I think Wilson's been very strong offensively, and it's a corner again. So this is 5 in 11 minutes. Excuse me. That's not bad. And so we're gonna have. Forgive me for not moving the camera. But we're gonna have. So Wilson's taking it in, and it also does have to go out of the circle before it can come back in and be a legal goal. So we have Wilson here, they have a little bit of backup, and we'll see if they can manage to score. And it looks like it's come back in O'Connell's possession. They've gotten a good defense by O'Connell, and they're coming back in. And O'Connell's got a little bit of a breakaway. They do have some defense surrounding them, though. So we'll see how far that can get them. But they're in the circle, so they are in position for a shot. And goalie Anna Arnsberger has done a great job clearing it. And it's back into Wilson's possession. And it's gone. So the thing is, folks, it's also the red line. It might show kind of pinkish on your screens, but it's not the football hash mark line. So in case that's confusing you, just know that it's a little bit wider field than you may be used to in other sports. So it's also popular in field hockey to take it at the sidelines and towards the edges because it's easier and it can be harder to defend sometimes. And so this can be Wilson's ball. They're going to take the hit from where the foul happened. And I'm not sure exactly what foul that was because there are a lot. It's very quick. The officials have to be very attentive. And so it's going to be hacking for Wilson. And they're going to take that. And so you see she did self-start it there. So that can come in handy if there's no good passing options, or if there's not really a great way to pass. So Wilson did drive it down almost into the circle, but O'Connell's has gotten it back. And we'll see what Wilson defense can do here. Still not past the 50, but it is O'Connell's ball, and they'll be back to take the hit. And so they did choose to pass it, but it did not work so well for them. It did go into Wilson's possession, but they've got it again. And you can see she just ran with it and self-started it. And self-starting is also a good option because it's also blown up because it doesn't give the other team time to set up and get ready and mark up. So that is good. And so we have Wilson did pass it. Sorry for the camera. But Wilson is moving along. They are inside the circle, and that was, I'm not sure, but that is O'Connell's ball. O'Connell. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. So that ball just went flying. They got it pretty far, and yet again they got it far, but it did go above their knee, which is illegal and a foul. So now it is Wilson's ball, and so they're gonna hit it, try and get it to their offense or midfield and their defense is going to have to work a little bit here. They are on the other side, and it is McConnell's hit, so that can be a little dangerous. But the defense is going to work here, so they're in the circle now. So Wilson defense is going to have to be particularly careful, but it seems as though Wilson has cleared the ball. So Wilson is carrying it down the field, and they are in their way, and that's going to be O'Connell's ball. And Wilson's gotten possession again. As I said, folks, this game is really fast-paced. It's going to change, possession's going to change a lot. And Wilson has it again, not quite in the circle, cleared by O'Connell's defense, and O'Connell's trying to get it up. They're doing a nice job of it, and we'll see if, so they are in the circle, so if they shoot, they can score, and this is going to be, so that was a foul on O'Connell and Wilson's ball, but O'Connell did gain possession and went right back into Wilson. As I said, folks, it really changes a lot. So we've got a little bit of a battle over the ball on the sideline there, and O'Connell did come out with the ball with a nice passing option, but Wilson is back in possession. They've got it, and they're trying to take it up the field, see if they can get it in and score a goal. And folks, about 13 minutes left in the half, and it's still 0-0, so anyone's game. And so we have Wilson's ball, and so they're going to try very hard to get into the circle, see if they can come out on top with the first goal of the game. And we'll see, so they're not quite in the circle yet, and O'Connell did gain possession from a foul. I think it was a foot. And so we're going to have O'Connell's back into on Wilson's half, but Wilson's defense is trying really hard to go down. A little tumble on Wilson's defense, but that's all right. And so that was scoreboard, but that was O'Connell did score a goal. All right, I have to stop the clock. Sorry, I'm running the clock here. It's multitasking, forgive me, but so Wilson's going to start with the ball, and back in. So we'll see if O'Connell's got the ball again. We'll see if they can continue the little run here and get another one inside the goal. And Wilson's going to be trying really hard to the defense. And in field hockey, much like other sports, once you have a goal, you kind of get a fixed mindset, and it's really important for players to stay optimistic and So we're going to see if Wilson can, in fact, get a goal to tie up the game. We have about a little over 10 minutes until the half, and Wilson is driving the ball down the field. It went out of bounds, and it is going to be O'Connell's ball. So they did lift the ball, lost sight of that for a second there, but a bit of hacking, or foot, I believe. It's a little unclear, but that's going to be a corner for O'Connell, so sorry. So Wilson's gonna have to be very careful with their defense. You can see O'Connell's figuring out a good plan so that they can figure all this out. And so they have the inserter, who's the person that's going to hit the ball. And remember, folks, it does have to go out of the circle, so if it does not, then the ref will call it and it'll be a possession change. So we're going to have Wilson defense working really hard here to try to prevent yet another goal for O'Connell. And see, that's another goal. So with 10 minutes left, it is 2-0 to O'Connell. And you see they lifted it and goalie Anna Arnsberger put her pad up and wasn't quite able to reach. It kind of went off, slipped off her pad a little bit and into the goal, but that's all right. And okay, so Wilson's ball, they're gonna try. That was a little bit of an obstruction, but it didn't get called out. And there it is, a little bit of a delayed call. Sometimes refs would be like, well, should I call it or not? And so you may hear me go, well, that should have been that, and then it'll come on. But the officials can have the best view. So we'll see a bit better. And it's Wilson's ball again. And we're going to try and get back in here. We'll see if, so that's going to be go for Wilson, and they did hit pretty far, but it did go into O'Connell's possession. So they're kind of switching that up. And so that was obstruction, I believe. I'm not quite sure as to what that call was. But we're going into O'Connell's possession, so they're making their way up the field. And we'll see O'Connell on top of this little battle over the ball. So you can see there's like a little bit of tension. It's kind of hard. You have to make sure you have a good pass before you get it. You don't want to drive into their stick or hat or do any other illegal foul resulting action. So Wilson's here a bit, and they're going to try and get it into the circle. And we'll see if O'Connell's defense can hold them off. So Wilson's got it back after a little bit of a hit there, and Wilson's got it again. It's a little bit of back and forth here. And that was a hit too high. It was above the knee, and that's going to be Wilson's possession. So O'Connell has managed to get it back. We've got a little bit of a struggle there, and we'll see if Wilson, and they can in fact hit it back, but McCollum's got it again, right back into Wilson. See, the folks is just back and forth, and we'll see what Wilson can do, and that's gonna be Wilson's goal. It did go off bounds, out of bounds on O'Connell. So they tried to get it. It was I think they hit it too high, I believe. And so Wilson's gonna come back in with the ball, and they're gonna take a free hit and see if they can get it into the circle and hopefully get in position for a shot on goal. And so it's in the circle. Wilson does have it, but it's a little bit of a tussle there, and Wilson has lost possession due to a foul. I believe that was hacking, and so McConnell's going to take that out, but it did go right into Wilson's stick. So we're going to have Wilson. It is in the circle, and that's going to be a corner. It was a foot on McConnell, hit McConnell player's foot, and so Wilson will have an opportunity to score, and we'll see if, much like McConnell's corner, if Wilson can get the ball in the goal and hopefully try and lessen the gap with a little bit over 5 minutes left in the first half. So it has come out of the circle and it's going back in, but we'll see what Wilson can do and if they can get a shot on goal, and they could not. It did go out of bounds a little bit wide. And it's McConnell's ball again, and so we'll see what they can do. So you'll see, they lift the ball a bit there. You can see it kind of bouncing on the screen. And that's going to be O'Connell's ball foul, I believe. And so they're going to hit it pretty far and see if maybe they can get another goal, continue on their little run. But see, Wilson is kind of struggling a little bit here. They're not as dominant as they were in the beginning minutes of the first half in the game. But Wilson been trying to clear that. They don't want them to get too close to the circle again, because that is risky even when it's 0-0 or whether it's 10-0. It's always just important to try and keep it as far away as you can. I mean, much like with other sports, you don't want it to get really close. And so you have Wilson is almost in the circle, not quite. We'll see McConnell keeps, sorry, my bad. O'Connell keeps clearing it, and we'll see what they can do with that. So Wilson and a Wilson player and an O'Connell player are fighting over who's going to get it, but it's going to be Wilson's possession. So we're going to have Wilson hit here, and we see O'Connell's ball, and they're trying to take it upstream. We'll see what they can do with that, and it's Wilson's possession again. So that was way too high of a hit. That's going to be foul. O'Connell's ball, you can see it went near another player's head, which can be really dangerous. Can get concussions. It is a dangerous sport. And O'Connell has the ball pretty nicely. We're going to see if they can get that even further into the circle without Wilson's defensive players clearing that and getting it back to their offense. So it's going to be Wilson's ball, so we'll see what they can do with that. And we're going to have a little bit of a tussle over the sticks, and it's going to be Wilson's ball. And they're going to hit that again, and it went into Carl's foot. It's going to be Wilson's again. They're going to get with it, self-start it. Ooh, sorry, full start. But Wilson's going to go in, and they're going to take it, and we'll see if they can get it in and hopefully get another goal. And there are 2 minutes left in the first half. Coming up will be a 5.5 time, and then another 30 minutes of play. And so Wilson's in the circle now, so they can score. They're in a position where they can score, and they have another penalty. So that's 7 for Wilson, and only 1 for O'Connell. O'Connell is 1 for 1, and Wilson has yet to score on a penalty on a corner, nor on a at all. But so there was a little bit of a starting too early on the inserter of the ball, so she is going back, and another player is going to come take her place. So she's going to have to go back to the half with the rest of the O'Connell players who are going to try and come in there and get the ball, who aren't in the goal. And then it's gone. We're going to see if they can get that in. And It's a bit of a struggle here. Just gonna try, and it's another corner. A little bit of I'm not sure if that was a foot or a bounce off a player sticking a little bit too high into the air, but we'll see. So this is the 8th corner for Wilson, 9th of the game, and we'll see if this will be a lucky one, the one that they can hopefully close the gap with the scores. So Wilson's gonna take it, and we'll see if they can score. And they're gonna try and see if they can get it, but it does seem like McConnell's game. Sorry, I'm so sorry. O'Connell's game possession. I've done that quite a few times. Just a bit of a talking fast. O'Connell's regained possession, and that is. So they're gonna play out the corner. And no, so that didn't work. So that is the end of the first. Just 5-minute halftime. And you can see the teams are going to gather in, get a little bit of a water break. And actually on Wilson, we have George Washington University freshman Julia Arnsberger, the goalie's older sister, who is the all-time leading goal scorer for Wilson High School. So she comes in sometimes and will help out. And the officials are taking a little bit of a break too, because the officials do just as much running as the players have to go back and down the field, calling the balls. So it is a lot of work for the officials, so they're going to take their break too. And we're going to have O'Connell over here. You can see they're all really thirsty, so we're going to stay hydrated. So folks, it's a little bit of a cloudy sky. As you can see, it's a pretty, a little bit of a nice beginning to sunset. It's around 6:30-ish, 6:37. And so we're gonna have about 3.5 more minutes halftime, and we'll get back into another 30-minute half. So folks, now would be a good time. If you're in the middle of watching this, so that you can't pause it, that would be a good time. You won't be missing anything. You'll be able to look it up. If you want to go grab something to eat, go quick for the water, go to the bathroom. It's this time where you can come in and do that. So folks, sorry, we're about halfway through halftime, and we'll get started. Wilson will start off with the ball this half, and we'll see going into the first half is going to be O'Connell High School with 2 goals to Wilson High School's 0 goals, and this is out Wilson, as you can see from that giant tiger, but So hopefully Wilson will be able to in there and knock a goal or two in. And hopefully that will work for them. And so the crowd we do have, there's not too many people. It does seem very scattered. They are scattered, but it's mostly parents, some friends, a couple of students, but not too many. Some siblings. And field hockey doesn't get the popularity that many other high school sports do, namely football and soccer. So, any turnout's pretty good for field hockey. It's very it's a little bit different in that sense, but it is so you got a little bit of a helicopter there. You can hear a little bit of that noise. So that is going to be halftime. So we're gonna get that in there. I'm just gonna. And I'm going to get ready to start ball, and so the teams are going to switch sides. So Wilson will now be trying to score on the right hand of your screen, and O'Connell will be going towards the left. So a little bit confused. And once again, Wilson is in green, O'Connell is in blue, and we have the goalies, Wilson goalie, and the O'Connell goalie. So, going into the first half, going into the second half, rounding up the first half, it is 2-0 O'Connell, and Wilson did start. We'll see if they can get possession in there. Carry down the sidelines, trying to see if they can get it into the circle, but they can't. And it's O'Connell's possession. They're going to try and work that in there, see if they can come out on top, maybe get another goal in there. And Wilson's kind of come back on top with the ball. And we'll see how Wilson will do the second half. And so we do have Wilson coming out here with a pretty nice little bit. And we'll see if they can get that into the circle and hopefully get a shot off and score. 2-0, and they could use the little extra. So, Wilson is trying to get it into Connell's ball. They're going to in, and we'll see what they can do with that. Wilson does, looks like Wilson's regained possession, but has lost it again to O'Connell. So, we'll see how the second half goes, and it's Wilson's ball yet again. And sorry, folks, this game can get really repetitive. So but thank you for staying tuned, and we'll see. Okay, so O'Connell has gotten a little bit of the ball. They've gotten possession. They've gotten. We'll see what they can do with that. And so they've gotten it into the circle. They're going to see what they can do, and hopefully for them they'll be able to score. But Wilson's cleared it, and they're off again. We're gonna see they can do. They're gonna take up the sideline. This could reset now, really freshman and she's gonna come in and we'll try and see what happens there. And yeah, so Wilson's gonna try and get it up a little bit of as good a run as O'Connell, and hopefully they'll be able to get one past the goalkeeper, who has had several good shots, good saves. Both keepers have. And 3 minutes into the second half, and it's Wilson's ball. So they go back into O'Connell's possession, but Wilson has regained it. So it's really back and forth game. And I have zoomed in the camera, folks, so I hope you can see a little bit better. And Wilson's going in. We're going to see if they can get it. And so they are in the circle, so we'll see if they'll be able to knock it in the goal. And it was a save on O'Connell. And a bit of hacking was called on Wilson. So after a really good little run, a little bit, O'Connell's going to have that ball. And we'll see if Wilson can maybe put that back in there. So O'Connell is running it down. You can hear enthusiastic news from their team, and field hockey your team is a really big part of your field hockey. It's like your field hockey family. We're really close, and you're all like really encouraging, and it's a really good sport. But most people don't know about it, so that's why they tend to kind of explain the rules as we go, because it can be helpful for those who don't quite understand the game. And so that's a corner for Wilson, and they're going to see if they can hopefully get that off and get a goal in there. This is the 9th corner for Wilson, I believe. The first in the second half. 5 minutes down, 25 minutes to go. We'll see what Wilson can do with that. And I believe it was a foot. They did not call it. But, oh, my bad, they did. Like I was saying earlier, with delayed calls, it can be with a handful, and refs may see it a little bit after, or be communicating with each other. So, Wilson's got the ball, and we'll see if they knock it in. So, that is another corner. See, a lot of times corners just pile up one on top of the other, and because you keep trying to get it in, it was hacking your foot. It just is a very repetitive process. So. Good save by a goalkeeper, good little bit there for them. But we'll see if Wilson does get it into the goal eventually. And a save by the goalkeeper. Wilson's going to run after that again. And he's running back into the circle though. And then they'll shoot one over O'Connell's stick. It's a very important little bit here. And it does seem that it's been a turnover. O'Connell's back in possession, but Wilson is getting the ball back. Nice pass there. They're gonna try and right into the stick, but they're gonna try and defense. And it's important to keep your sticks down when you're playing something like this, so it's easier to defend. You'll notice that they run kind of with touchbacks. It's important to make sure you're really low to the ground, so you're more tentative. You know, people that haven't played field hockey before know that might hurt your back, but there is a lot of conditioning and exercise that comes with field hockey, so it's just important. Also, many players tend to crouch down and put like when you're trying other way block tackling, which is a good form of defense, instead of punching over, because it gives them better support and better strength. So see if Rigby can get it in. It was a save by O'Connell goalkeeper. Excuse me, and they're getting so it did go out of bounds. It's gonna be Wilson's ball. They're gonna try and hit it back in. Needs to go 5 yards again. So we'll see how well they can do. Self-starting is a good idea when you do have to get it 5 yards into the circle because it gives you a little bit more space. You can, if it does not necessarily have to be passing, you can just take that in. There is a call on this field, which will be another hit for Wilson, and we'll see what they can do with that. Let's see, McConnell, I'm so sorry, I keep saying that, but didn't work out for O'Connell, and Wilson's got possession, and it's going to be a hit for Wilson, and once the player touches the ball plays in motion, you can keep going, you're allowed to come at them, but you do have to stay 5 yards away from the hook. So that was a nice little little lift for O'Connell, but it did go back into possession of Wilson defense, and so they're going to try and be battling out to make sure that it doesn't get too close into their circle, and they want to try and keep the score gap as close as they can. About 10.5 minutes left in the first half, and we'll see you can do this to the goalies. So that is another goal for O'Connell, which brings it up to 3-0. And Wilson is not doing as well as they have in previous games, but they're working really hard, and so they're doing the best they can. And with hockey, you can have some games where you win them, you lose them, and it's just the nature of the sport. And just like any sport, I'm sure you've seen maybe football where a team may be losing by a lot, or soccer, or basketball. Field hockey is just like that. Field hockey is no exception. But we'll see can get that in there, and hopefully Wilson will be able to get a goal. But it is O'Connell's ball. They're getting really close. They have a nice breakaway. They're getting really close to the circle. It's getting a bit dangerous for Wilson, but Wilson is trying to play it safe and get them back in, and that was hacking. And now Wilson's ball. We have a I think an O'Connell player did get, but they seem to be doing okay. And we're back. And O'Connell did gain repossession, and we'll see how they go. O'Connell is a little bit of a breakaway, but it did not work out too well for them. Wilson's going to get possession again, and folks, it may look like it's about to thunderstorm or rain, but just a little bit of a friendly reminder. It is around 7 p.m. Almost, and there's about 20 minutes left in the half, but No, that's just the skies darkening as nighttime approaches. In case you're worried about rain or rain delays, that's not really an issue right now. And Wilson's got a really nice little breakaway right there. They're gonna try and see what they can do with that. Hopefully, they'll be able to get into the circle and get a much needed goal. And we'll see what Wilson's going to be able to do with that. It's going to go right into an O'Connell player's stick, go across the field, but back into Wilson possession. They're just going to play. So a lot of times they'll think it was a foul, but they'll just keep players to stop, and it won't be a play. So that can be a good opportunity for teams to kind of get in there, take the ball. So that's going to be Wilson's possession coming up on the sideline. And reminder, folks, that the gray area is inbound, so they can utilize that area as much as they want. And Wilson player ticket time. Ticket tumble, but that's okay. Stopping the clock. I'm trying to multitask here with the clock I'm managing. I gotta look for the referee signals. So. Wilson's ball, they're going to try and get it in there, see if they can get it into the circle, maybe a good passing option, maybe a little bit of a run. But they do need a goal, and it's 3-0. O'Connell's in the lead. It is about halfway and a little bit of change left in the game. So Wilson, we're approaching 3/4 of the way complete with the game, and Wilson players are starting to get tired. I mean, as well as O'Connell's, but field hockey is a very fast-paced game. You need to sub frequently to make sure that players are staying healthy and hydrated, because on days when you're playing when it's really, really hot and it's maybe midday, on the weekends it can be noonish, 2 school days, 3, 4ish. It can be really hot, and the sun can be very hard to bear. But it is on Bright News. It is a Wilson corner, so they're going to see what they can do with that. Hopefully, get the much needed goal. And Wilson, a good save by the goalie. Let's see if they can wrestle it in. They're going to try as hard as they can to try and shoot that ball, and they did not manage to, and it is unfortunately for Wilson. It's O'Connell's ball, and O'Connell's on a pretty nice breakaway right now, and Wilson's defense is going to try and hold them to make sure they stay outside of the corner. And but Wilson does have possession yet again, so they're going to take the hit and hopefully try and close the gap and score. So O'Connell does have the ball again, and they're almost in the circle, so it's getting even more dangerous for Wilson. But we'll see if Wilson defense can hold them. That was a foul, but it's going to be Wilson's ball, and we'll see how far they can get out the field. So not very far now. Did go into the field, but it's it's going to be Wilson's ball, and they're going to see what they can do.
See, oh, there it is.
There's a little bit of it's a little bit of a struggle to see who's going to get the ball. It can be really challenging to get out of situations when both sticks are on the ground, the ball's kind of trapped in between them. And just a reminder once again, folks, the gray area and the blank area next to the gray area up until the yellow line is fair play. It is in bounds, so players can take that in. And O'Connell is in the circle now, or almost in the circle, and so now they are in the circle, and they're going to see if they can get another goal in there. But it looks like Wilson defense is pretty on top of it as of now, but we'll see how well that holds up. So that was Wilson's ball. They did still start it. They may be a little confused, maybe, but it's going to be Wilson's ball again, and they're gonna. That didn't work out too well, but it was a foot, so they do have the ball again. So it's with the sidelines there, and they're going to try and pass it and get it into the circle for a much-needed goal. So, that's gonna be.
Someone's gonna get a card.
So, not sure.
He's writing something down.
Yeah, it does seem as though one player did maybe receive a card or a penalty, but it is O'Connell's ball. So, what they can do. That was too high, bounced off a stick, so Wilson's gonna get possession and see if they can take it on the field. So, didn't get too far without another penalty, but lucky for Wilson, that penalty did go there in their favor, so they're going to take it again, try and pass it, or maybe run it down the field. We'll see what works, and they did end up passing it. And the did go back to the more midfielder defensive player for Wilson, but it's gone back into Wilson's session, but not for long because it has been regained by O'Connell. So Wilson's ball, but O'Connell is going to fight for that, try and see if they can get even further up the field, and they had a free hit, so that did help them with that a little bit, but not very much because it's a little bit of a tussle over the ball right there, but it does seem to be going pretty far down the field, and it did go out of bounds off of a Wilson player's stick. As you can see, there was just a little bit of a substitution for Wilson. And O'Connell is very close to getting it inside the circle. So Wilson's defense is really alert right now. including the goalie. And the goalies actually have the best view of the game. They can see really what's happening from the center of the field. And it's pretty nice. But Wilson is driving up the field. We'll see if they can get it onto O'Connell's half. And O'Connell did get possession again, but Wilson's fighting for it, and their fighting's paid off. They do have possession of it again. And it's back into O'Connell's possession. And folks, you'll notice it was mostly, the game was mostly being played on the far side of the field. But a little bit of a trip on Wilson side. I think it was a bit of a tumbling trip. But there are just over 9 minutes left in the game.
He's keeping his watch.
And it's O'Connell's. And again, the official is writing something down. I'm not quite sure as to what happening, but it is O'Connell's ball.
Yeah, it wasn't high.
And that was too high. Even though Wilson did get it with their stick, it doesn't matter because the ball itself was too high. So it doesn't matter whether it hits a player or not, whether they are able to block it or receive it or whatnot. But so Wilson did stay with possession. They're driving up the sideline of the field, but yeah. So the game is mostly coming towards the closer side of the field, whereas before the second half had been more of a far side dominated, and Wilson is nearly inside the circle, and they have entered, and we'll see if they can, they do, I believe they just got a corner. Yes, so they do have a corner on, and this is the, I believe, 10th corner for Wilson, so that's actually pretty good. O'Connell's only had one corner, but that was their first goal. Wilson has yet to score, so we'll see if this would be a good opportunity for that. And hopefully for Wilson, they'll be able to get the ball in, and it's another corner, so that was another foul. As I mentioned earlier, corners tend to pile on top of each other. They tend to stack because with so many players so close together, they become right on top of each other, and fouls are a lot more common. So that's going to be O'Connell's ball. They're going to take that and run with that. And Wilson does seem to be trying to get possession back. They do have it right now, but we'll see how well that stays. And Wilson still does have the possession. They're still running down the field. Reminder, once again, that was not out. He's going to be Wilson's in the circle. Many shots on goal, good saves by the goalkeeper. And we'll see what happens. That was a very Wilson was trying really hard to get that back in the circle. But O'Connell did get a hit, but they kind of hit it into the hit was not as powerful, and so it did get intercepted by a Wilson player. And at least the ball does bounce a little bit, but that's turf actually helps the ball bounce. When you're playing like on grass, it's really difficult. It's hard to hit the ball. It's hard to get it different places. So, but if it's bouncing a little bit, that's why. And they're inside the circle, so Wilson's trying pretty hard to get it in, and also you can, if you're in the circle and you can't get a good shot off, you can try and hit it into the other team's foot, and that'll work sometimes, and you can get yourself a corner in there.
Deliberately shoot at the foot instead of at the goal.
I mean, it's not suggestive. Like, it's not. Refs wouldn't tell you to do it.
It would be questionable, right?
Sometimes. If it's really intentional, if it's really obvious, then yeah. But if you kind of just sneak it in there, it'll be a corner for you. So that can help. We have a little under 5 minutes left in the game. Wilson still has yet to score, and we'll see if they can change that with the little bit of remaining time they have. But looks like they might get it up to a chance where they can get a goal. They're driving up the sidelines, and they're getting it all the way up. We'll see if they manage to get it into the circle, get a shot off, and hopefully for them they'll get it into the goal.
You see?
So it's another corner for Wilson, and we'll see if they can have as good a run as they did a little bit before with their corners, and we'll see if this will be the one to make it into the goal cage. It did not. It did go out of bounds. It's going to be O'Connell's ball coming out off of, I'm not sure if it's the 25 or off of the top of the circle. Yes, so it's going to be off of the top of the circle. So you can see it it did go.
It's a high one.
That was high, and yeah, so that was high, and it was, there weren't as many players around, and it was so high that, and there weren't players around, like where it was at like player level.
Dangerous or something.
So that is okay because there's no one around. So if you lift it into open space, then the refs aren't going to call you for it. But if it's too close to a player, and they're going to call it. Yeah. So Wilson is in the circle. They're going to see if they'll get a shot off. It did not, and it will be O'Connell's ball at the top of the circle. And so it's on the circle, and you can really do it from any point on the circle, but most players tend to put it from the very top, a little bit of the tip, to because it's a little bit closer rather than further down the circle, like where they are now. It'd be a little bit farther distance for the ball to come. This has been more convenient. But that's another corner did hit an O'Connell player's foot, and a lot of corners. And defensive corners are very stressful because you have to worry about making sure it doesn't go in and making sure you don't get another corner. So the goalie has seen a lot of corners. And Wilson has scored. Wilson has scored the first one of the game with about a minute and a half, a little bit over left in the game, and it is now 1-3. O'Connell is still in the lead, but Wilson is
trying to make a little 2-minute comeback here.
Yeah, we'll see. It's unlikely that they'll get 2-3 goals in the next minute.
Oh, ye of little faith.
But
they're showing
they will try, and so, and that goal really, when teams are behind and they get a goal, it's it can be really a mood changer, it can be a game changer for them. It can be like they really are like uplifted and they feel a bit more confident, because confidence is a big part of field hockey. You have to really have your mind in the game, and it's really important that. So that
so she
is Wilson's
pushed
fault.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's obstruction.
Nice.
And
Ooh. To the wrong player.
the wrong player,
But it
but
moved it up the field.
Wilson is moving up the field with
Here we go.
possession.
Whistle's blowing.
They're hit again.
Harper with the ball.
We'll see what Wilson's able to do with
Oh,
that.
here we go, here we
We'll
go.
see if they get another one in. If they do, that would be
47 seconds. They're making it interesting.
And they've got a corner with just over 30 seconds left in the game. We'll see if they can get another one off and close the gap to two,
Come on.
from 1 to 3 to 2 to 3. And we'll see how lucky they can get here. And if they get this, this will be a pretty big deal. 2 goals in about a minute is very, it can be very rare. It's challenging.
All right.
And they did not. And so there's 10 seconds left. And O'Connell is yet again defending another corner. This makes about 15 for Wilson, I believe, which is a
So I'm guessing the
nice
clock
number.
runs or doesn't run here.
The clock. So even if the clock ends, oh, you're gonna run it. So even if the clock ends, they play out the corner.
Oh, that was aggressive.
So this is until it goes out. So
Is it over?
yeah.
Okay.
So that
They're
is.
gonna chat real quick and then they'll touch hands, right?
Yep. So that is the game, folks. O'Connell High School won 3-1. Woodrow Wilson High School, they lost, but a great effort by both teams.
You know, this is huge. It's actually it's very respectable. I mean, O'Connell has a top-notch team,
They did their
and
very-
over the past 5 years, Wilson's improved their squad. Coach Whitener has done a lot to improve the quality of play.
And Wilson actually has lost
And they
some
didn't
of their
lose
best
too.
players.
Yeah.
They did actually one of their former players, as I mentioned earlier, is here helping coach.
Okay.
Helping coach.
And you know, another thing is that you know they've come a very, very long way, and that to only lose 3-1 to a high quality program like Bishop O'Connell is actually really, really good. So that's not a complete loss. I'm sure they would have liked to have won, but it was a good.
I do believe 2 weeks ago, in their recent match against Goat Walls, they did win by quite a number. I think it was like 4-0 Wilson.
Are they going to touch hands or not? Oh, there they go.
They're gonna. So they're taking a little picture, and then they're gonna congratulate each other. It's privilege tradition. They do it in soccer games. They do it. in almost every
It's a
sport.
ceremonial
Yeah,
touching of
it's,
hands. Everybody does it. Yeah. It just
do
took them a
that.
while to do. Usually it's one of the first things, but
No,
different
'cause-
sports do it in a different way.
Yeah, field hockey does take a little bit to do it. They like make sure they get their stuff together. So,
Introduce yourself.
yep. So once again, I am Ella. I was helping operate the game, and with that, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe and have a good rest of your day or a good week or whenever you may be watching this. So thank you so
Our
much
next
for
game is
watching.
Thursday.
Our next
Thursday at
game-
4 o'clock.
Yes, our next game is Thursday 4 o'clock
Brookville.
against Brookville.
No, Brookwood.
Brookwood. So,
Excuse us. Sorry, Brookwood.
So please tune in. But thank you so much for watching.
Wilson Live.
What's on? Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. All right, let me just show you how we put this away. Okay. So.